What's going on, guys? This week we got a little bit of tech time dropping every single day. We're going to be dropping a tech. Today we got to talk about Contact C. All right, guys, and getting straight to it on this tech time, I wanted to talk about Contact C. It's a level 6 Earth insect monster with 1500 attack and 2200 defense that came out of Extreme Force as well as Mega Pack 18. The card says when your opponent normally special summons a monster or monsters, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand to the opponent's field in defense position, and this card's controller cannot fusion, synchro, exceed, or link summon unless they use it as material. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning it is for two specific decks, and obviously there's stuff that you can interpret for yourself as far as other decks that you'll see it in your locals, at your YCS, at your regional, whatever the hell it is. What I wanted to touch on is Prank Kids and another deck that we'll get to in a second. With this specific deck, what you can basically see is that Prank Kids, one of the best decks out right now, maybe the top of the food chain, has a huge weakness to Contact C, and that is if this card is sent to the graveyard as material for the fusion or link summon of a Prank Kids monster, that's when you get to float with all of the Prank Kids. Essentially meaning that if you can interrupt them very early with a Contact C, be it you're playing the card in general as a rogue tech option inside of your side deck, or if you're playing another deck that puts it literally in their main deck, B-Trooper, deck profile coming soon. The bottom line is, if the Contact C already beat Fusion Destiny on the field, Fusion Destiny is irrelevant. If you have a card like Forbidden Droplets, sure, you can get the Contact C off, but that's only if you're playing into my board. If you're playing your own stuff, and I went second, and you started off with the Prank Kids and tried to go directly into the Link 1, you're in a little bit of trouble because you're just going to have to go straight into Verite and then DPE, and then from there, you're just not going to be worried about the deck the same way. They're going to cut a lot of their resources short. They're going to cut a lot of what their inboard was short anyway. You don't have to deal with the double red Geki, and if you have a lot of that, they're pretty much screwed. But obviously, there's stuff like the Adventure card, the Griffin being able to tribute over the top of it. There's little small stuff like that. It's little small stuff you have to be aware of, but it still is a very, very strong card against Prank Kids for that reason, because they don't have a way to get it off the field. As far as Despia, they do have a way naturally to get it off the field in Guardian Chimera, as well as another card, which I'll touch on in a split second. But I wanted to touch on just another generic deck list and how hard it can be to actually get the card off the field. If you interrupt them with a Contact C fairly early, then obviously if they don't have a way to get 3 different monsters with 3 different names onto the field, they don't have anything in the side of their extra deck outside of that and Anaconda to be able to deal with it. And if you have any kind of interruption allowing them to just stop a card completely, then you pretty much have nuked all of their effects in general. What I mean is basically if you hit them with a Contact C and they're playing into a board like, let's say, B-Trooper deck profile coming soon, it's definitely devastating because B-Trooper is going to cut you off with the remainder of the deck's engine, the card engine, and then you're pretty much suffocated, so to speak. Now, if you really spent all kinds of time really trying to figure out some of the other stuff, then yeah, there's probably going to be a lot more decks that this is going to devastate. But as far as interrupting your opponent from being able to just deal with going into their extra deck by getting this card off of the field, they just don't have anything. Fallen of Albaz monsters, they don't have anything. Now, the card that I did want to mention is Iron Dash Dragon, and Iron Dash Dragon, just because it can only take an effect monster, is how you can get it off the field. But as far as the rest of these, they don't have a way off of the field. A level 8 and a light monster here. The only one that I see is Iron Dash Dragon, and if you're getting interrupted with Iron Dash Dragon, unless you have further extension to help you do something with that Iron Dash Dragon, on turn 0, that doesn't do anything. And a hell of a lot of lists that I see online, go look for yourself, aren't playing the card anyway. So it's just something to consider. Now, obviously, there's cards like Artifact Dagda. It's going to get banned soon. I'm not really worried about that. And some other cards. But as far as the specifics of these two decks, stuff like some of these Prank Kids, you can't do anything with them. Therefore, you're gridlocked extremely quickly. Guys, let me know what you think about this tech down in the comments. We have plenty of tech videos coming this week, as well as a B-Trooper deck profile. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I'm out. The clothing website is almost finished. I've been deliberately taking a long time. I appreciate all of you guys for asking, and I'll see you next time. Maybe there's some other decks too. Think about it. See you next time, guys. Arrivederci.